I received life-changing advice from 4 people who I look up to and consider successful. Tim Ferriss, Russ, Joey Badass, and Gary Vaynerchuk. Stick around for the advice that Gary V gave me at the end of the video. Or don't, but it's good advice. Tim Ferriss, author, podcaster, investor, and a human guinea pig of sorts. I came across Tim back in 2016 when he was promoting his new book in the Hustle Facebook ambassador page. I found The Hustle, which is a daily business newsletter company. At some point I came across him probably from a Facebook ad or something. Shout out Sam Parr, the founder, who actually sold that company for $30 million. Speaking of newsletters, I have a newsletter. It's in the description. I do my best to fill it full of gems. I send out every week, Tuesday. It's called Tuesday at 12 PST. Sign up and you'll get this upcoming Tuesday's email. Peace. Anyway, so I attended their event, HustleCon, earlier that year. For free, by the way. I guess you could say I hustled my way in. I recall diving into the Tim Ferriss show and immediately becoming a huge fan. This was 7 or 8 years ago, so I don't remember much other than while in college, I actually felt I was learning. By listening to conversations on the show, I was able to listen and learn about things I actually wanted to, and has since become one of my favorite podcasts, with guests ranging from Rick Rubin, Michael Phelps, Jamie Foxx, Val Ravikant, Jerry Seinfeld, Esther Perel, Tony Robbins, and many, many more. There was an Ask Me Anything that The Hustle hosted in their Facebook group, and I got to ask Tim, the supreme asker of questions, a question of my own. I asked him, what is one piece of advice you would give your 18-year-old self? He said, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. You are your environment. This resonated deeply. At the time, my first semester, freshman year of college at the University of Arizona, I joined a social fraternity. Second semester, I joined a business fraternity. I was trying to figure out I was doing what I thought was the right thing in society. Graduated high school. I went to college. Okay, well, what is everyone else doing? And I think there was this internal frustration. Yeah, Tim's advice holds true today. And I do my best to be intentional with the people I surround myself with. Because if I am a product of my environment, I want to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with people that are emulating characteristics that I want. And I think it's important not to settle. I don't think you have to just like X out all your friends. Gary Vee often says, add one positive friend. Like if everyone around you is negative. What helped me, honestly, was finding these podcasts, finding YouTube videos, finding online mentors that I could put in my ears who will make me better from being around them, even if it's not directly in person. This is a perfect example of just starting, bro. Like I think I was procrastinating making this video. I'm like, dude, like they didn't even like directly go like, hey Zach, here's the advice. I feel like this will help someone because they all helped me, and if I could be the messenger of their wisdom, if this video's that'd be great. Number 2, Joseph Badass. That's not his name. What if his name was Joseph Badass? Anyway, it doesn't fucking matter. Joey Badass is a rapper, singer, producer, entrepreneur. He was the creative director of Marc Ecko's brand Ecko at 17 years old. Marc Ecko is the creator of Complex Media. He has writing credits on Rockstar by Post Malone, 21 Savage, huge song. And he was in the hit show at Mr. Robot at only 25 years old. A super inspiring guy. I mean, he's like 28 in less than a month. That's crazy. He's only 3 years older. That's crazy. He did all that by 25. Look, I'm here making videos about it. See, this is why comparison is the thief of joy. Because I can focus on all the things I don't have, compare myself to these other people, or I can say, look at everything I have to be grateful for. Joey tweeted out he needed extras for a music video he's filming for a song of his called Devastated. Whatever I was doing at the time was clearly less important. So I drove to the city. Once he tweeted out the address, I went with 2 friends of mine, and we all ended up being in the music video. I'm wearing a white shirt, and you can see me in the picture above. I'm also wearing glasses. Afterwards, he was signing autographs and answering questions to everyone that showed up for the music video. I asked him, as an upcoming aspiring full-time musician myself, what's one piece of advice you have for an upcoming artist? And he said, don't depend on anyone else. This too resonated deeply. As a recording artist and songwriter, you need beats, you need producers. And instead of depending on people to produce my songs, I figured out how to produce and come up with a song myself. Instead of depending on a videographer, I picked up a camera and hit record. Tony Robbins says, we don't lack resources, we lack resourcefulness. I think it's also important to ask for help, but don't depend on the help. And I think it's that ability to stand on your own feet as opposed to being dependent on others, whether it's women for love. Like I don't feel complete unless I have someone someone telling me I'm good enough. Like, don't depend on anyone. Number 3, the poster child, in my opinion, of independent musicians. Russ came up with his friend Bugis, who was a rapper. Russ was the producer at the time. He started doing vocals ultimately after producing for Bugis. He dropped 11 albums and then like 90 songs before he finally started popping off on SoundCloud. He's since had platinum albums, platinum songs, sold out tours around the world, and he turned down a $50 million deal. He was on IG Live with Bugis, and I asked him, after having a career that outshined Bugis, who he started producing for, I was just curious. I know we're human. I know, you know, we would like to be the best versions of ourselves at all times. I felt that it can be tricky working with a lot of different artists, balancing ego and balancing all these different things, and I wanted to ask him how he was navigating that, how he has navigated that with his childhood best friend. So I asked them how they've kept their relationship going without ego. And Russ said to me, the importance of having a high self-esteem and a high self-worth of yourself. Insecurity breeds ego, jealousy, resentment, all these things, right? I'm talking about Joey Badass. He's turning 28 in less than a month, and he's done all these things. I think Russ is 28 too, and I'm 25, and I'm comparing like, damn, like when they were 25. That comes from a place of insecurity and not from a place of confidence, self-esteem, and gratitude. When you're the kind of person that's grateful for what you have, focused on your own stuff, there's no reason your friend doing well should leave you feeling anything other than thrilled. Obviously, I'm human. There's moments where I'm like, will this ever happen? Or when will this, or why not? And that comes from, those questions come from a place of insecurity. And that security of like, hey man, my goal is just to do the work. My goal is not things outside of my control. I just felt like that really resonated. Is surrounding yourself, coming back to that, you know, first point, is having people around you, and also first making sure you're the kind of person that has self-esteem, that you're solid. If you're not doing anything that's crossing the line as a friend, there's no reason I should feel ego or resentment towards your success. And I think that just comes down to being solid yourself, coming back to journaling, meditating, exercising, and getting sleep. All the good things that help you have that clarity overall. Gary Vaynerchuk. In college, I drove with my friend Andrew Sauter to LA from Tucson to go to Complex Con. And Gary Vee was there, and I freestyled for him and asked him his thoughts on quality versus quantity. I didn't want to just make content for the sake of content. I wanted to be intentional. I asked him his thoughts on quality versus quantity, and he said this.
If you've got it like that, put it out like that. My big thing is that Michael Jackson and Prince sat on hundreds of songs we haven't heard. To your point, quality, quantity, look what I'm doing. I'm putting out fucking a ton of shit every day. And I have a good feeling, because I'm looking at it every day, you know, that it's quality. Music's interesting. Music's like content. You're literally one song away.
After over 10 years of making art, I believe art is subjective. I went to the MoMA in New York, and some of the stuff there, I was like, bro, like, this is art. I believe that art is subjective, and therefore quality is subjective. My friend Daniel, he says the way you get to quality is from quantity. And Ed Sheeran, he has this metaphor of a water spout. He says in order to get to the clear water, you have to let the tap run and get the shit water out of the way. I made 2,000 plus beats. I feel very confident in my beats now. Obviously there's so much more to know, and I'm not the best at everything, but I can make a pretty solid beat and a pretty solid song because I've gotten a lot of shit beats and songs out of the way. Instead of having fear of not being perfect, like what is perfect? You know, like is the goal perfect? Is the goal perfect? Because then would any artist make more art if the goal is just to make a perfect album? Would you follow up Thriller? I think the goal is just to do your best and to make the best stuff possible and to just express yourself. And in doing so and in expressing yourself, you can resonate with as many people as possible. And I believe that's the goal way more than hitting some arbitrary metric. Like who decides if it's a Grammy award winner? Like it's all subjective. Like, this is not, the Grammy is never the goal. It's to make work that I'm proud of and to keep going and to keep getting better and to keep one-upping myself. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. That would be so crazy if you weren't subscribed. That would be actually really crazy. That would be so crazy. I have a new song that's playing right now. It's called 10 Toes. It's out now on all stream platforms. Go check it out. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, great week. And I'll see you next time. As always, keep going.
I might go joke on in this bitch. Flow corner night, yeah, no ice on the bridge. Won't lose the fight, yeah, like Dick Lynch assist. Talking J. Cole to fit. Say 10 toes to the crib. Say 10 toes to the crib.